At the bakery. On Saturday morning, Nora leaves home a little earlier than usual. The street is still quiet, but the town is already waking up. A bus moves slowly past the corner. A man opens a flower shop. Two students stand near the crossing with hot drinks in their hands. Nora is not going to work today. She is going to meet her sister in the afternoon, and later they will visit their parents for dinner. Her mother asked for fresh bread, and her father said, half joking and half serious, "If the bakery has lemon cake today, please do not come home without it." So Nora smiles and walks toward the small bakery near the market square. She likes this bakery for many reasons. It is never too loud. The window is always clean, and behind the glass, the bread and cakes look warm and inviting. The people inside speak in calm voices. Even when there is a line, nobody seems angry. The place has a quiet rhythm that feels different from the busy supermarket on the next street. When Nora reaches the bakery, she stops for a second outside the door. The smell reaches her even before she goes in. It is the smell of bread, butter, sugar, and coffee. It is soft and rich at the same time. Through the window, she can see golden rolls on one tray, dark bread on another, and small pastries on the shelf near the counter. She opens the door and steps inside. The bakery is already half full. A young mother stands near the cake section with a small boy. Two elderly customers are speaking quietly beside the window. A man in a blue jacket is paying at the counter. Behind him, a woman with an apron carries a tray of fresh rolls from the back room. Nora moves a little closer and looks around. On the left side, there is a shelf with long loaves of bread. On the right side, there are smaller items, round rolls, cheese pastries, apple cakes, and sandwiches for lunch. Near the coffee machine, a short printed menu hangs on the wall. It says, coffee, tea, cheese sandwich, tomato sandwich, croissant, lemon cake. Nora reads the last line again. Lemon cake. That is exactly what her father wanted. She feels lucky. But when she looks at the cake section, she sees only one small lemon cake left. Only one. For a moment, the bakery becomes more interesting than she expected. She joins the line and watches the people in front of her. The little boy is asking his mother for a chocolate pastry. She says no at first, then yes, but only if he finishes his lunch later. The boy agrees immediately, of course, with the serious face of someone making an important business deal. Nora laughs quietly to herself. The young woman with the apron comes back to the counter. Her hair is tied back, and there is flour on one side of her sleeve. She looks a little tired, but she still smiles at every customer. "Good morning," she says to the elderly man at the front. "Good morning," he answers. "Can I have 2 dark rolls and 1 cheese pastry?" While he speaks, Nora notices the baker in the back through a half-open door. He is taking bread from the oven. Warm air moves through the room each time the door opens. The light in the back is strong and yellow, and for a second everything looks brighter. One by one, the customers place their orders. A loaf of bread, 3 butter rolls, 1 coffee and 1 sandwich, a piece of apple cake. The line moves slowly, but Nora does not mind. Waiting here is not unpleasant. She studies the breads on the shelf and the small cards under each item. Some names are easy. Some are new to her. She likes learning words when they are connected to real things she can see and smell. When there are only 2 people in front of her, the bakery door opens again. A woman in a dark green coat comes in quickly and looks around with worried eyes. She is a little out of breath. "Please tell me you still have the lemon cake," she says. Nora looks at her. The woman is holding her phone in one hand and a paper bag in the other. She seems nervous, but not rude. More like someone who is trying to solve a small problem before it becomes a bigger one. The woman with the apron answers kindly. "I think we have one left," she says. "But let me check." At that moment, Nora understands the situation very clearly. She wants the lemon cake. The new customer also wants the lemon cake. And there is still only one. For a second, Nora thinks, "I came early. I walked all this way. My father asked for it first." Then, she thinks of the woman's face. It is the face of someone who promised something important to another person. Maybe a birthday. Maybe a visit. Maybe a difficult morning that needs one small good surprise. Nora takes a slow breath and decides not to hurry. The man in front of her orders 6 rolls, 2 croissants, and a black coffee. He pays with coins and asks for a receipt. The woman at the counter prints it and puts it carefully into his bag. Now it is Nora's turn. "Good morning," the woman in the apron says. "Good morning," Nora answers. "Can I have 1 large loaf of bread, 2 warm rolls, and, actually, no cake for me today?" The woman nods and starts to place the bread on the counter. At the same moment, the customer in the green coat steps closer. "If the lemon cake is still there, I would love to take it," she says. Nora turns and smiles at her. "Please take it," she says. "I think you need it more than I do." For a second, the woman looks surprised. "Are you sure?" she asks. "Yes," Nora says. "It's fine." The woman lets out a long breath, and her whole face changes. "Thank you," she says. "My parents are visiting this afternoon, and my mother loves lemon cake. I left home late, and I thought I had missed my chance." "Then it belongs to you," Nora says. The woman at the counter smiles too. "That was kind," she says. Then, she lifts one finger and looks toward the back room. "Wait just a moment," she adds. She disappears behind the door. Nora hears a few quick words, the sound of metal touching metal, and then light footsteps. The woman returns with a small tray in her hands. On it are 3 fresh slices of lemon cake. Still warm. Still soft. Still perfect. "The baker was cooling these in the back," she says. "They are not even on the shelf yet." The woman in the green coat laughs first. Nora laughs a second later. "So there was enough for both of us," Nora says. "There is enough for everyone today," the woman replies. Nora buys 1 slice for her father and 1 extra pastry for herself. She also takes a coffee, because the room smells too good to leave empty-handed. When she pays, she opens her wallet and notices that she has exactly the right amount of cash. Somehow that feels like the final nice detail in an already pleasant morning. The woman in the green coat waits near the door, while Nora collects her bag. "Thank you again," she says. "You're welcome," Nora answers. "I hope your father enjoys the cake. And I hope your mother does too." They step outside together. The street is brighter now. More shops are open. A cyclist passes the square. Somewhere behind them, inside the bakery, the oven door opens again. For a moment, Nora stands still with her bread, coffee, and warm cake. She came for something simple. Bread for dinner. Maybe cake if she was lucky. But she is leaving with more than food. She is leaving with the easy feeling that sometimes a day becomes special for a very small reason. one kind choice, one warm bakery. One Saturday morning that started with bread and ended with a better story.